rather good evening to all the audience, and I really appreciate the patience of all the executives and innovators to really wait for the long day for the sessions. And thanks to Professor Chari for pulling the right innovators across the globe on this platform. It has been an amazing journey today, especially in the sessions towards the end. I realized that it's a lot to take back for everybody in the room. So we are getting inspired, we are looking at digitalization, we are looking at innovative solutions, Make in India, and moving towards Atma Bharat India. So I think this is a good initiative by the government of Telangana, and especially I would stick to the session as what has been suggested. I think looking at what Smita presented, it was a good insight to see how innovation can begin, from small scale to large scale. However, I have certain questions on energy, how much energy is consumed with your idea, and that's actually a big question that most of the people would like to know. Then coming back to what Alankar presented, it was interesting to see how you have managed this innovation at the local level. It's not so easy to get the buy-in from the stakeholders and to ensure that cities are able to take that steps to achieve sustainability. We all talk about circularities, but we don't even think of applying it at our home. So I think what key takeaways are coming is that we have to look at participatory processes, ensuring that circularities are maintained in innovations and desired results are made out of the ideas that we generate. And of course, coming up to what robotics and artificial intelligence demonstration that we have seen, that digitalization will pave the future, not only for the next generations, but we have to go back to the roots. So innovation has to begin from the originality. I think as citizens, we always wanted to do something innovative different, but that doesn't mean we have to forget the past. So as you said, sorting, engaging 100 people in sorting is not a good idea. And it was never the reason because we only had one dustbin in a big house, and now every room has a dustbin. So we have to go back to the roots and also look at digital tools to enable. So I think with these few words, we can see if there are some questions, or maybe if Shruti or somebody wants to respond to some of the points that I raised. Sorry, Smita.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for a very valid question on the energy consumption. Here, the ASBT technology that we are talking is advanced soil biotechnology for treatment, which is going to consume 1/10 energy of what the conventional systems are using, because there are no heavy mechanical parts to it. And the vacuum-based technology also works on negative vacuum pressure. So it is not at all, in fact, it's very low energy consuming system that we have proposed. In fact, the maintenance and the energy consumption, both of it is going to be very, very lesser than the conventional systems that are there.
Would you like to take that question, Smita?
Sure.
Yeah, I think if there is more of solid waste content.
Yeah, so if the quantities of waste are huge.
Solid waste can completely be manufactured.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I have the next question to you. How you feel that artificial intelligence will play the role in future, and how do you see India being a global leader in this? Because you gave examples of what you have implied, so maybe you would like to throw some light.
AI is the future we are using in our phones, Google Photos or Apple, day in, day out. The same technology is being used for parcel sorting for Flipkarts or Amazon, or AGV robots which we see videos on Instagram. I wish my vision was to bring the same technology or the robotics being used by bigger brands of US, UK for painting of our cars. हम जिस कार में आते हैं वो robotics से paint होता है. Why not the same robotics, the same IT being used for waste segregation? Why are we still using humans, especially ladies, especially child? In Ahmedabad, I can't maybe say the city name, vaccines गलती से dump हो गया था, पोलियो का. I know everyone is aware, अमिताभ बच्चन का ad आता है, पोलियो चला गया. Because of that dump, someone, ladies or child in that area, गलती से vaccine, they again got the polio in that area. It is in the news few years back only, 5-6 years back. My point is, scientific way of sorting for at least ladies and children. And the technology is there. We are very good in software. The next 10 years of India is for manufacturing. If we mechanically and make the hardware, uh, processors, semiconductors, no one can beat India. This is what I can clearly see the vision. It is just everyone has to, we are good in software. We just have to be better now in hardware. In the next 5, 6 years, you will see a lot of change in India. We are very confident on that thing.
So thanks, I think that's also quite inspiration. So coming to Mr. Lokesh, you were talking about inspiring by nature and I think the 7 generations. So maybe you could example explain us what inspired you to really develop this and how would you like to inspire others to look at more nature-based solutions?
Okay. See, what inspired me, yes, for 28 years I was in corporate. And then one fine day I said enough. Okay. And I took a sabbatical. And Tarun, who is my CEO, is a good friend of mine. And he said, I'm doing something different. It's a research of 10 years. It's not that we just started now. We have a 10-year-old STP working in Bangalore, giving a flushing quality water even to this day. The association uses the water for flushing. So we have put in a lot of effort, and it was out of interest. We are trying to do something for nature. The whole idea is we are giving it back to the nature for the future generation. So that inspired me, and of course we have a patent now, and that's where we are heading to. So I think the most important aspect is nature has a solution for every problem in this earth. It is just that we try to make it faster. Faster means using a motor or an electricity or doing something quicker. But nature takes its time, so you have to build it with that keeping in mind.
Yeah, sure. So I think coming back to nature or going back to the roots is essence of innovation. So innovation cannot be done only with high technologies, but we need to have the thought that are we really giving back to the environment how much we are consuming? It's all about karmas. So what we have inherited, are we able to give it to the next generation?
Wanted to enter into this waste sorting, especially our own families, मैंने तो मेरे मम्मी पापा को भी नहीं बता पा रहा था कि मैं रोबोट और विजन के साथ किसी कचरे के ढेर में रोज़ काम करता हूँ. It was 4, 5 years back. By giving these technological solutions, these startups, we want a new youth who can join and use, this solution so that they don't have to go through this learning curve. They have these solutions where they can plug and play and they can, sort waste or, recycle. And maybe this generation only we see the solution. Why to wait for 7 generations? If we are 130 crores, 10-20 crore भी अगर काम करेंगे, problem solve हो जाएगा.
I think we heard about capacity building and institutionalizing innovation. And I think ASCII has made the first step to institutionalize innovators, to really get them a platform and get practitioners and government officials a platform where this exchange can really happen. And I think the benefit of these exchange can only when we can concretely implement these ideas with states and cities. So of course, I represent GIZ, and with GIZ, we are really working with the state governments and partner cities to build their capacities, because at the end, capacity is the underlining principles for implementation. I think we have Angraj with us. I think in EcoRap, you've tried to do the basics right, from segregation. So did you really foster some efforts in building the capacities for segregation? Because I think we all say it should be segregated, but I'm not sure today how much was waste really segregated at the venue. I was trying to see if people were putting the right things there. So was there efforts done at your organization level or as an individual?
So perhaps you could answer that along with this question that is for you.
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so like in terms of support from ULB, like you must be having some structure to authorize players like us. Like in the city we are working, थोड़ा challenging है वहाँ पे ये लेना. So this is the only thing we want from ULBs. In terms of capacity building or awareness about segregation, initially like we are tapping, हम नहीं चाहते कि हमारा waste generator directly interact with the dustbins. हम चाहते हैं कि there must be a stakeholder in between दिस, क्योंकि ये हमें भी थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लगता है कि एक मास को अवेयर करना, लाइक महात्मा गांधी का आज़ादी का मूवमेंट शुरू करने जैसा ही है. धीरे धीरे चीज़ें बदल रही हैं, चेंज होगी, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि लाइक आप एक स्टार्टअप में, देर आर लॉट ऑफ लिमिटेशंस. तो हाउस होल्ड में एक बार जाना हमें थोड़ा सा टफ लगा. सो लाइक वी आर डूइंग इट with the help of some commercial bulk waste generators, and now targeting schools. ये है कि next generation will be like कुछ knowledge रहेगा उनको segregate करने के लिए. Then we can go high rise apartments. फिर हम local public में जा सकते हैं. That should be a go to market strategy.
Yeah, thanks for that.